So So this one is the elective subject. So educational psychology. So in this already we completed 4 classes. So remaining 2 classes are there. So in this we'll discuss about the briefly about what is educational psychology and uh, totally the how the course is structured. What are the topics? Huh? Will deal in this. We discuss in this. So in this we have total 5 blocks are there. So in that black one, introduction to the educational psychology, already this was taken by sir, and in this unit several sub units are there. One is the aims of the education in relation to the individual society. So how the education will impact individual and also the society. Regarding this, in this unit we already discussed and we have completed that one also. So second unit is the scope of the education and the problems of the schooling in contemporary India. So what are the challenges are facing in schooling? So in relation to education, what is the scope education? What is mean by education? Education is without education we can't develop. So if a country country need to develop, first they give proper education to the children. So by there only the nation will be built. So because of that only, so many countries are focusing on education. So if we provide education to a child and he can live, he can change his economical background also. So the how the contemporary and in India law, what are the challenges and what are the obstacles uh, facing in that will all are discussed in this second unit. So and third unit is the educational psychology. In this, what is mean by educational psychology? What are the educational implications? Uh, what are the how the educational psychology? What are the concepts in that child and school and teacher, like that there are the in the environment, all these are the concepts. So in this we'll discuss, we already will learn in that unit. So second block no, again we have 3 units are there. So understanding the learner development and the diversity. What is mean by learner? How learning uh, takes place in development. All this we'll discuss in this. So individual, what are the individual differences? We can see in several differences in among in one family only. Same parents are same, and but children are they are developing differently. So these are called one child and another child. They have the so many differences are there in their height, weight, and also the memory level, personality, whatever it is we'll took in this that are we called the individual differences. Individual differences, how it happens, what are the uh, causes and reasons, uh, we'll discuss in this individual differences. Already individual differences are completed. And the special needs. What are the special need children? Special need children, we are seeing so many special need children. These children are exceptional children. So some of them are can't properly see, some of them are can't properly walk, some of them are can't properly in the several locomotor difficulties, and also the intellectual difficulties. తర్వాత ID ID and MR, mental retardation, we can see in this mental retardation, intellectual disabilities. ID means intellectual disabilities. Like that, there are the according to child needs, will provide the facilities uh, uh, to grow to become a bigger. Like that. In this, we'll discuss this one also completed, and inclusive education. So English is special needs children, how to teach, how to develop their knowledge, how to go through their own way, like that they will discuss in this. And also third one is the learning and memory. This is a this also most important. Learning, how learning is happens, and what is the memory. So we are day to day we are learning so many things, so that we can remember something and we can forget something. So how it happens, what are the domains of the learning? So in these domains there are the cognitive domain, behavioral domain, and the psychomotor domains. We have classified in these three categories. And what are the types of learning? And memory and forgetting. And last one is the curriculum and diversity, and the stress and the anxiety in the school, and the special issues in the education in India. And last one is the guidance and counseling in the school. What is the importance of introduction to the counseling and types of the counseling guidance, and model question paper will be discussed in the last unit. So in this, we'll go through already 7 units, I think 7 are completed. So in this learning and memory, we'll see this 7th unit. So what is mean by learning? Learning is a uh, learning plays major role in human life. So it changes the human behavior. Learning occupies a central role in the acquisition of language and customs, traditions, and also attitudes and beliefs and various personality traits. So learning will shapes the individual, huh, that become he will go become bigger, and all the factors will influence by this. So it is the main factors like that influence the way of we think, how we think. Suppose we can see in a normal layman person and all educated person, there is a particular change we can observe in these two persons. By this we can observe. So the that is the learning is most important. So in this, how they think and the way feel, and also the way we act. So according to situations, how we act, that also we can define. So yeah. So it is a learning defines learning as a relative permanent change in the behavior. So what is the definition of the learning? Learning is a relatively permanent. It is not a temporary change. So whenever we learn, the change will continues. It is a permanent in their behavior. The change will occurs. So that occurs a result of experience. How it occurs? So we are discussing it is a permanent change of behavior. So how the permanent change will occurs? Huh? So it occurs through experiences or a practice. If he learn something, uh, that results it is a experience or the practice. By practicing, he will develop the skill. So in our day-to-day life, we learn different things of contents by using the different ways. So educational psychologist Benjamin Bloom's developed the classification of the intellectual behavior learning uh, into three domains. So already what is mean by learning? Learning is a permanent change in the behavior is called the learning. So it is a permanent, it is not a temporary change. So in this we can how it happens. So after learning, so there is a something change is observed in his behavior. So the famous psychologist Benjamin Bloom's has classified, so classification of the intellectual behavior learning, so Bloom's classification. So he plays the central role in the teaching learning process in the development. So what are the domains? So Benjamin Bloom's Benjamin Bloom's is an American educational psychologist in the period of 1932 1999. So he made an important contribution to the classification of the educational objectives and also the theory of the learning. So he and in educational objectives and also the theories key. So he plays a major important role. He contributed. So he created he Bloom's taxonomy. Taxonomy. He was created in 1956. So it is a proposed prominent higher forms of the thinking. That is analysis, evaluation. How we classified we can see in this. So Bloom's taxonomy, classification of the taxonomy. So we can see he classified into Bloom's classification. That is the three major types he classified. One is the cognitive domain, and the second one is the affective domain, and the third one is the psychomotor domain. So recording like, so he, we can see in this Bloom's taxonomy is a hierarchical model. So it we can call it is an hierarchical model and classify it is a classified learning objectives into various levels based on the complexity and specificity. So it is an hierarchical theory like that is classified this Bloom's taxonomy and identify and measure learning. How we can measure by this, we can how the learning will happen. So Bloom's divided what are the how the learning into the three separate domains. These are the cognitive domain and affective domain and psychomotor domain. These three domains, so he classified these three domains. According to this, we can so learning what happens and we can see in this. So the cognitive domain consists of the knowledge. So knowledge related uh, all will comes under the cognitive domain. So knowledge of the specific subjects and the intellectual skills. What are the knowledge subject intellectual skills and other knowledge related information will be uh, categorized into these cognitive domains. There are the 6 major categories in this cognitive domain. It includes various cognitive outcomes, which includes simple behavior. So we can see in learning, so many people will remember, recall. So which includes the simple behavior, example, recall and recognition, to complex behavior. And it will, it order of the increase, level of increasing will be increased from first to last level. Like that, the hierarchy also increasing. So basic thing is, first one is first simple to complex. So in the simple that we can classify, that is the example is the recall and recognition, to complex behavior, that is the evaluation. Last one is the evolution. So the cognitive outcomes often represents the outcomes most closely related to the deeper thinking and the long life learning. So as well as the outcomes we value most. So the lower level of uh, lower level of learning, simple behavior, are easier to assess but do not reflect what the student can do with the acquired knowledge or information. So in this, outcomes will be as below. We can see in this recall, so the ability to recall what has been learned. If a person will learn something, so what is mean by recall? Recall is the ability. So how we can recollect? Recollect, that is called recall. So whenever we are going to put an writing an exam, whatever we listen, if we can recollect what we have learned, that is recall. So previously learned information will be produced by the learner, that we called a recall. The ability to recall what has been learned. So second one is the comprehension. The comprehension is ability to show the basic understanding. So whatever he learned, the subject, he can understand. So understand means, so the level of understanding, by this he can perform something. So he comprehend the what he learned, that is called the comprehension. After understanding, he can comprehend and he can use the knowledge in the similar situations. So and that is called the application, the ability to apply the learn to new or novel task. So what he has learned, by using that in the same situation, on other situation, novel situation also, he can solve the whatever the task is given by the teacher or the other persons. So he can apply his skills to at that time. That is called the application. Analysis means the ability to break up the information logically. So it is a ability to break up the information into uh, break up the information and logically, and is use, that is called the analysis. And also synthesis is the ability to create something new, and also the evaluation. So evaluation is the ability to evaluate the useful of the something for the purpose. So all these are called uh, all these are called the in this cognitive domain, these 6 sub categories are there. That is a recall, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. These six are most important. So how the student will recall, how the student will comprehension, how the student will apply, how student will analyze, synthesis and evaluate. So according to this, all will come under the cognitive domain. Cognitive domain means it is a knowledge that is something with the brain. So something with the brain and the brain. So that is it is a ability to retain the information. So these are all called the cognitive domain. In this cognitive domain, these six subtopics are there. So and also the affective domain. Affective domain means this the affective domain majorly consists of feelings. This means we can express what feelings he had, what values he had, and what appreciation he had, what enthusiasm, motivation, and also the attitude, etc., are the examples of the this affective domain. So this is nothing but this is the artful. So that one is the first one is the cognitive domain. It is in mindful. Yes, and something related with tasks related with the mind. So this is the something related with heart. So that is the feelings, inner feelings and values, aspirations, తర్వాత, and also the enthusiasm, motivation, attitude, etc. All this will come in the effective domain. Effective domain outcomes generally tend to the hardest to articulate initial and open appears. It's very difficult to assess at the first glance. Effective domain learning outcomes are related to the attitudes, behavior, values, receiving, responding, valuing, organizing characteristics as a part of this domain. So, in this, so the student become a awareness of an attitude, behavior, values in their day-to-day life. Everybody should have this behavior, what is the values and the day-to-day life how they perform, all will comes under this. And the students exhibit the reaction changes, results of the exposures and the attitude, behavior, values and the day-to-day life. The students recognize the values and display of their through involvement, so commitment of their day-to-day life. Students will determine the new values, they will perform new values, importance and priorities, all will comes. And the last one is the psychomotor domain. The psychomotor domain something related with the skill. So psychomotor domain is the physical skills or task. Psychomotor domain consists of the use of the grosses and the fine motor skills, such as the physical movements and coordination. Psychomotor domain learning outcomes are related to the skills we can observe, development, and various psychomotor skills require practice. So something it is related to drawing and a skill, bicycling, swimming, huh? Like that we can. These are the examples of the psychomotor domain. If he learn some skills, he cannot forget that skill. It continues remain long last forever. So the learning outcomes related to these skills can we can observe development of various psychomotor skills require practice. How it will develops, it will if a person will learn bicycling, cycling, so it will come one day. If a person will drawing, he makes a variety of drawings. He will learn it within one day. It is not happens like that. It is a continuous practice until unless he develop that skill. So it requires a practice. These skills are generally measured in terms of the speed, accuracy, and the techniques in execution. So we can measure this generally measure in terms of we can measure in terms of speed, accuracy, and like that we can measure the student sensory inputs, physical tasks, and actively day-to-day life. Students able to replace fundamental skills task day-to-day life, and the student recognize standards of critical important performance skills tasks correctly in the day-to-day life. Like that, these are the apply these skills to the real life situations day to day. So these are the blooms of cognitive, affective, and the psychomotor domain shows in the following figures. You can see in these. So these are the three domains. In this, already you people have book with you. So in that page number 91, we can see in one figure is given. In that, the Bloom's 1956 and Anderson 2001. That the cognitive means it is a mental skills. Already I have told right now only. So it is something related with the mind. This is also we called it is a mental skills, mental tasks. In that mainly focus in the knowledge. So brain will how the information will be retrieved. So stores. This is the knowledge what we know. So what we know called is a knowledge. So, and also the affective domain means growth in the feelings of emotional areas. So, it is an, already I told this one is, it is an heartfulness. So, emotions, everybody have emotions, attitude, how we feel in a particular situation, that is called the affective domain. So, in this one, Katrwal and Katrwal has explained this one. So in 1964, and also last one is a psychomotor domain. This is a manual or physical skills. Skill is performing with hands or legs, using his hands or legs or through mind. So suppose he had to draw a building picture. So by using his fingers, so that will be mental representation. Already he has mental representation in his mind, and if he can order draw a dog means dog, he will draw the dog. So draw a computer means he will draw the computer. That is a skill. So it is a manual or physical skills. So how we do? Oh, there was 1975. Oh, he had uh, classified this psychomotor domain. So, so you can. This is all regarding this Bloom's taxonomy. So in this you can see what are the six components and what are the like that. So revised Bloom's taxonomy is that Bloom's taxonomy is the remembering, understanding, apply, analyze, evaluation, and creativity like this. Already you have in your book. So 92 page. So this is the in this we have process of domains and the process of the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So in this process already we have told in cognitive domain. So remember, understanding, and apply, analysis like that. So we remember no, we can categorize, recognize, and recalling. So recognize means suppose whenever we go to we writing some exams, competitive exams, they give some multiple choice. In multiple choice means recognizes, and they give one question and four answers are given below on that. In that four options, you have to choose. You have to recognize one correct answer. Huh? So multiple choice questions are examples of the recognizing, and also filling the blanks is recall. So this is a differentiation. So like that, you can see all the what is the interpretation, examination, classification, and summarizing. So you can understanding law. These are the sub classification. Understanding means interpret. If he interpret that he understand that subject. So exemplifying also understanding, and the classifying, he can classify that. So that is also in understanding, and interfacing and composing and exploring. So like that. So it in every we have like this go through once, and this is an Bloom's taxonomy. So it is a major most important. So in this we have summaries and also the model questions are there. Go through once, and it will helpful. This is the most important, because if you know thoroughly this, you can able to write psychology whatever he asks like that, and it will impact on other topics also. So because we can learn this Bloom's taxonomy is most important. It will help in your further studies also. So for that, don't neglect this one. Okay. So with this we have uh, Bloom's taxonomy completed. So seventh one is, and where is the eighth unit? So we can see in eighth unit how the so already just now only we discussed this one. So what is types of learning? So types of learning, how many types? Types of learning. In these types of learning, what are the learning steps in the learning? So we'll see something this one. So already we have learned what is learning. Learning is an acquiring knowledge, new skills. Previously we doesn't have that, but after practicing, after after repeating whatever, so after experience, so we learn something new. That is called the learning. Learning plays an important role in our daily life. So learning, it will it will plays a it will plays major role in our life. So we learn various types of knowledge and skills across our lifespan. So from the birth onwards, we are learning some skills total from birth to death. So we learning every day, every minute. We learn something new skills. Learning helps us in the acquisition of the language skills such as speak speaking, and also it helps to know and practice different customs and the traditions of culture. Learning influences our think, and also learning will influence our thinking, feelings, and also actions. Everything will seen in this. So psychologist defines learning as a relative. So already we are discussing knowing about the definition of the psychology learning. So again, the psychologists already what they define learning as a relative permanent change in the behavior that occurs as a result of experience or practice. సో ఎలా వస్తుంది అంటే దట్ అక్కర్స్ ఎట్లా హౌ ఇట్ విల్ అక్కర్స్ ఇట్ అక్కర్స్ యాజ్ ఎ ప్రాక్టీస్ ఆర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్. The term learning refers to the process of acquiring knowledge, skills, according to Kimbley. So And the learning refers to relatively permanent change in the response potentially which occurs 1 minute. So which occurs as a result of reinforced practice. So there are different uh, learning theories are there. So this verbal learning. Learning with verbal means the learning of the verbal behavior is known as the verbal learning. It is refers to acquiring the relating or recalling of the verbal context. So those who are literates, they can uh, we can see in this verbal learning. So the spoken language and the communication devices are the part of this learning. So only literates, the reading, writing, and the various instruments such as words, sounds, symbols, pictures, figures are used in the verbal learning. We can use in this in this ये पूरा यूज करेंगे जिसको द वर्बल लर्निंग. तो वर्बल लर्निंग में क्या क्या होता. सो इसमें वर्ड्स होता, साउंड्स होता, सिंबल्स होता एंड पिक्चर्स होता एंड द फिगर्स आल्सो दे फिगर्स दे वर यूज्ड. सो सब पूरा ये यूज करेंगे. So verbal learning is an important unique feature for the human beings. We acquire match of our knowledge about various subjects and events in the form of words. Generally, it is study of the learning using verbal stimulus materials and the verbal response. Verbal learning is influenced by many factors, especially in the various features of the materials to be learned, such as meaningful of the context and the length of the cycles. So it will so the what strength mida, so we can it as some and like that. So methods of the study features: paired and association, serial learning, free recall. So free recall means the find out the organization process of the memory. It is a participant presented. So like that. So in this methods of the study of the features of the verbal learner, paired and association learning. In this you use learning foreign language with the help of the paired association. So foreign language we can learn using this paired associative method. So CTY, LAMP, KSX, silver. Like that, generally, first word is nonsense syllables, and the second is the meaningful words. So they will associate these two. The participants is the first presented the pair and associative, and in this instead of remember the recollect the meaningful word after presenting the nonsense syllables. Nonsense syllables చూపించి మీనింగ్ఫుల్ ని అడుగుతాడు. CTY, this is a lamp. Like that, if we show CTY, he can tell the lamp like that. So this is the total number of trials taken to recollect all the meaningful words. So measured, and this is the paired and associative learning. So serial learning is a method used to find out the process of the involving the verbal learning. Is a particular presentation of the list of the words and nonsense syllables instead to the remember serially. So according to that, they present the serial and they will call again. So if they recollect all those correctly, so how much they recollected or not, they will be give. So this is the recollect all the words in the given list. So free association means find out the organic process of the memory. It is a participant presented the list of the words and are required to recollect the words in any order. Okay, it is in any, he can recollect first or last, any order. There is no mandate to collect serially, or one by one like that, according to serial. So he can recollect whatever he had. Social learning means, so it is an Albert Bandura is already you people may studied in this social psychology. So in the learning, so Albert Bandura proposed observational learning theory. So it is in most impact on the education also. So we can learn so many things by observing the people. So we can find out some role models in our life, and we seen that persons, and we will follow that behavior also. So through the observation and other people's behaviors and attitude, the social learning theory was proposed by the Albert Bandura, a prominent American psychologist. He was an American psychologist. So he emphasized the learning from another through observation. He emphasizes most observation and imitation or modeling. In these three, he emphasizes these three observation, imitation, and modeling. As per the Albert Bandura, we do not blindly respond to the environment stimuli. Rather, we pick and choose from many environmental options, basis our decisions in our own insight and also the past experience. This was through the various observational learning by the incorporating and the imitating behavior of the those around us. So in this we have, so according to Bandura, we observe others, and then we form an idea. So we can observe something and we can form an idea, and how a particular behavior is performed. It is series to model for the subsequent actions or behavior of an individual. Social learning theory views behavior in terms of uh, continuous, reciprocal, and like that. So in this, we have several sub steps are there in the social learning theory. So in that, attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. These four, according to observational learning, Bandura. So these four steps involved in this social learning theory proposed by the Albert Bandura. So attention is the first step in the social learning theory. So it refers to the process of an awareness of our environment. We can observe our environment. So basically, it is an attention to the environment, and model behavior is attended by an individual in this step. So attention is influenced by the various factors such as distinctiveness, complexity, sensory capacity, and the past reinforcement. All these influence attention. So afterwards, retention. So retention is a second step in the learning. It refers to remember certain things on which we pay attention. So we are seeing so many things, but we can focus on only something. We can focus on only uh, which we can pay attention. So uh, we can observe so many things, but we can put only attention on something. So influenced by the various factors such as it is we can pay attention. In this step, the individual remember the model behavior or images in his memory. So he may remember uh, how he remember the behavior will be stored in the images forms in the memory. So after retention, reproduction. Reproduction is the third step in the learning. It refers to reproducing the images from the memory. what we are stored behavior in form of images in our memory that will reproduce in this reproduction. So in this step, the model behavior which was attended and remember transformed into actions after suitable analysis such as acceptability to the individual and also the environment. So last one is the motivation. The motivation is the final step in the learning. It refers to have a specific reason to imitate behavioral aspects. In this step, the modal behavior, which is reinforced, adapted for the further continuation. Let us take an example to see how the steps are incorporated in learning. Suppose a student happens attracted towards a particular hairstyle. So if a boy is attracted particular hairstyle, the student tries to keep hairstyle in the memory. First, that student will keep the hairstyle in the memory and ready with that hairstyle. So the new hairstyle may then reinforced by the response he gets from the family members, friends, or teachers. So the positive reinforcement make the students to continue the new hairstyle. So we can observe so many behaviors like that. That is the Gandhi, Nehru, and also the some particular those who are achieved successful lives in their uh, life. We'll observe that some of them are got highest job. So parents will tell. So in our relative, he had achieved that person has go higher stage. So like that he will took some role model. He put role model in his mind. So he will keep continuing practicing. If he put the target, he will achieve by taking some information from that person and how to get, what are the obstacles, so what are the behavior, like that he will practice and normally he will achieve that. Like that, this observation learning is most important. This will positive impact on the behavior. So as per the Albert Bandura, individual personality represents the interaction between the environment. So individual personality, it is the interaction between the behavior and also the environment and also the psychological process. Social learning is an effective means of the learning various behaviors in our day-to-day life. We are learning so many things in day-to-day life. So the way the one speaks and dress and display various emotions such as love, anger, all depends upon the observation and the modeling behavior. Like that. This is learning theory. So in this learning, how it is happens to the, so another one is the transfer of learning. Transfer of learning means if we learn something in one situation, we can transfer that is into other situation. That is called the transfer of learning. Transfer of learning becomes the transfer of learning is the important part in our daily life. We are all transfer our learning of our day-to-day life. So it refers to the previous learning, previous what we have learned in the previous is previous learning on a new learning. So previous learning will help in the new learning. That is called the transfer. In we can transfer one situation to another situation. Transfer of the learning occurs when the person learning in a one situation influences is learning or performance in another situation. Same గా ఆ విధంగా it can helps. It refers to capacity of an individual to apply the acquired knowledge or skill or a new context or new situation. New context లో, new situation లో we can use that previous knowledge, previous skill. So as it is here, we can use. This is called the transfer of the learning. The similarities between the previous and the new learning situations and the contexts play an important role in the transfer of learning. So not only knowledge and the skills are transformed from the one context to, but also the habits. It inherits and the attitudes of the individuals are transferred from one situation to the others and influence the performance. These are types of how many types of transfer of learning are there we can see in transfer of learning can be considered in the positive, negative and also the zero transfer. So positive means the transfer of the knowledge skills acquired to positive uh, if the previous learning facilities new learning. So learning of the additions and multiplications plays playing badminton and tennis. సో ఇక్కడ లెర్నింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఎడిషన్స్ మల్టిప్లికేషన్స్ బ్యాడ్మింటన్ ఆడేటప్పుడు ఆల్సో ఇట్ విల్ ఆల్సో హెల్ప్స్ అన్నట్టు. సో నెగటివ్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ మీన్స్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఆఫ్ ద నాలెడ్జ్ స్కిల్స్ కన్సిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టు బి నెగటివ్ ఇన్ ద ప్రీవియస్ లెర్నింగ్ రిటర్న్డ్. సో ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లెర్నింగ్ టు ద ప్రొనౌన్ ద వర్డ్ పుట్ ఆఫ్టర్ లెర్నింగ్ ద పంక్చుయేషన్ ఆఫ్ బట్. సో పుట్టును పెట్టిన తర్వాత ఆ బట్టును కూడా బుట్ అంటాడు, బట్ అనడు. సో లైక్ దట్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ నాట్ యూస్ఫుల్ ఇన్ ద learning. So this is called the negative transfer. Zero transfer means the knowledge what we have learned in the previous that will not help in the further learning. This is called the zero learning. So this is the considered skills of zero transfer. The previous learned neither facilities or nor related to new learning. So learning of the playing guitar and flute ball. గిటార్ కి ఫ్లూట్ బార్ కి దెర్ ఈస్ నో రిలేషన్. అది ఆడినంత వలన ఇది రాదు, ఇది ఆడినంత అది రాదు. సో దెర్ ఈస్ దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ద జీరో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్. సో గో త్రూ వన్స్. సో లైక్ this we have so completed this unit. So till now what we have learned. So we have learning we have completed, and also the what topic and another topic is completed. Anybody is joined? No one joined. First pages we can say. So we completed what topic today, which topic today. Today we completed the domains of the learning, types of the learning we have completed today. So tomorrow we'll discuss memory and forget. What is memory and what is forget, how it influence on a person. So what are the topics covered in that, and also we'll discuss the question paper also, model question paper also tomorrow. So and remaining are there, so that we'll do. So okay, right, thank you for listening class, and tomorrow we'll discuss remaining topics. What right now I have told, memory and forgetting, we'll discuss tomorrow. And the remaining is their education in the Indian context and the guidance and the counseling in the schools. So these will also we'll see tomorrow if it is completed. We will discuss that one also. Okay, thank you. So by this, we'll finish today class, and we'll meet tomorrow at 12 p.m. Okay. What is the time right now? 1:05.